the Bowels of Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix! Alright, welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. I'm Isaac, and with me as always is my fearless co-host Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
In Mother Russia, podcast review you!
I don't think that's how it works in Mother Russia.
Da, comrade, da. Alright, I've
Larry,
now exhausted my entire repertoire of Russian jokes.
What are you Russian for? Quit Stalin.
Show us your marks.
Something. Yay! So, I've been questioning my heterosexuality a little bit recently.
In this relationship? No, we've never done that.
We still haven't seen each other's dicks. You always turn the light out when we fuck. It's really awkward, and then you would just whisper, like, other people's names in my ear as you held me down and bit me. I loved it, but...
What are some of the names I've whispered into your ear?
Boris Yeltsin. I think he was a president of Russia. Gorbachev, he was one.
That's true.
Khrushchev, it was a weird kick, actually.
Yeah. I like to imagine you as various fat Russian men while we pork.
Yeah, and you were, of course, doing your JFK, Mayor Quimby voice. I give Russia what it wants.
I have not broken that voice out in a long time.
That was some weird role-playing right there.
Yeah, it was. God. Oh, if people knew what my actual sex life was like. It's even weirder.
We are the Bowels of Netflix. We're a crazy podcast. Every week, one of us forces the other one to watch the worst movie we can find on Netflix, and we describe it in excruciating detail and go over it inch by painful inch. You can find us online. That's what my wife says about my penis. Like, I'm tired of going over it inch by painful inch. I think I already made that joke, but that's it. There's only 2 inches. Yeah.
She's just in the background grimacing at you, by the way.
Whoops. Forgot she was in the house, like usual. I mean, goddamn. At least I warmed the couch up already. By warmed it up, I mean I already pissed on it. You can find us online at Bowels of Netflix, Facebook and Twitter. And you can send us an email, bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com, if you have any experience with these movies or any suggestions of movies you'd like to subject us to. You can take that under advisement. And make sure to rate and subscribe, give us 5 stars, tell us about your friends. Tell your friends about us, probably. Yeah, that's the right way.
Tell us about your friends, too. I mean, I'll listen.
Just get random emails talking about people's friends.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, God. And this week, Larry, you have made me watch a hot little piece of action called Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hate.
Yes. It's, sure is a thing.
It really is. It's a sequel to a movie called Hurricane Bianca. Mm-hmm. And Hurricane Bianca came out in 2016. Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hate came out this year in 2018. Oh, and okay, so last week when I was trying to remember the title of this movie, I was like, I couldn't remember. It was like Hurricane Del Rio? Fuck, I don't know. And I was getting confused with the wrestler. Bianca's name is Bianca Del Rio, so I wasn't that far off base.
Oh, okay. See,
it's just not in the title.
After we went off the air last week, after we went our separate ways, I was thinking to myself, like, how in the hell did he get that confused? What is the correlation there?
Not completely insane. And Bianca Del Rio is kind of a real person.
Okay.
It's Roy Haylock, who's better known by the stage name Bianca Del Rio, is a drag queen who won the 6th season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yes, and one of the other actors in the movie is also a contestant. So that's the genesis of this stuff. So yeah, the actor is playing herself, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually transgender or just drag queens. I don't know. It's not addressed in the movie, and I can't see it on the Wikipedia page, so I'll probably just be flipping back and forth with pronouns because he spends a lot of the movie as a male character, and then Bianca comes out every once in a while. So I don't know which pronoun's appropriate, but I'll be flip-flopping for the sake of the movie.
I think it's a little more acceptable for a character in a movie, regardless of if that character is the same person in real life.
Mm-hmm. And where they're... Yeah, I don't know. So... Oh, God. This movie...
I've said this, I think, twice now, but to reiterate, I did not pick this to be sensational. What I saw of it looked really bad and unfunny.
Oh, it's not a good movie, but it's definitely not made for me, for sure. But having said that, I still, it's not good. So IMDb, it's sitting at a 4.7. Rotten Tomatoes, there is not a critic aggregated score. The audience is sitting at a 45%. So it's actually pacing even with IMDb and kind of middling, a little on the low side maybe. But again, I know a few gay people who have the amount of sass required to love a lot of this movie. Because just the amount of sassy gay jokes that aren't jokes, and I was going to write down a whole list of them, but then it pained me too much. I'm just giving you one, and then you'll understand the flavor.
Okay.
More like Martin Luther Queen. Yeah. That was, I think, the best one.
Oh, dear.
There were so many that just weren't jokes.
Oh, dear me.
But again, I don't know. I'm pretty sure some gay people I know would just be over the moon for all of it. Not my cup of tea. That's okay.
Huh. I'm really fascinated because there's so many things I want to know just from the minute and a half I saw and just the thumbnail and just the synopsis.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's dive into it. We open up on Rachel Dratch, who is the villain of this movie. She was a Saturday Night Live cast member during the 90s, early 2000s kind of heyday. As I think she started as people like Sandler and Chris Farley were wrapping up their SNL era, and she was around during Will Ferrell's time.
I recognize her really just in passing. That's all she's really done, right? Of note?
Yeah, she's been around. She's been in movies and stuff, but yeah, she's never had a huge career outside of SNL.
Wasn't she one of the news anchors on the news portion of SNL? Is that what her bit was?
I don't think she did that. I know Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were the big woman punch they had when they transitioned over from male anchors exclusively. She might have done it briefly. I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big Saturday Night Live historian, nor do I think that most of Saturday Night Live is funny. I think there's some very isolated, very funny bits, but I think on the majority it's pretty meh.
Yeah, there tends to be eras that are really good.
Yeah.
Second, third season, we have Belushi and Bill Murray and stuff just being amazing. And then early 90s was really good. And then early 2000s when Will Ferrell was really coming into his own on the show. Those are all really good eras. Everything else can be kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
Although because I'm a liberal psychopath, I've absolutely adored all the Trump stuff they've done. And what the fuck is her name? Oh my God, I can't remember.
Palin?
I should know. Kate McKinnon.
No. I don't know who that
is. She played Hillary Clinton and a bunch of other people.
Okay.
In all the political sketches. But she's really good, and she's been in a bunch of movies. She's the brightest star they have on SNL right now. But she's amazing.
I don't think I've seen a new episode of SNL in 4 years.
Yeah, I haven't watched full episodes, but I'll check out.
The only time I was out to see an episode of SNL, it was after John McCain died, so they were showing the reruns of the episodes he was on.
Oh, okay. There's an amazing sketch that you need to see that I think you'll love, starring The Rock. I know.
Is it The Rock Obama? Because I've seen that one.
No.
Okay.
It's a contest for evil scientists to reveal their most evil creation, and his is so dark and so funny. It's ridiculous.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
And it's The Rock. It's The Rock that does this, who, you know, is generally a little on the wholesome side as of recent. But yeah, it's Attitude Era shit, man. Holy Christ. God damn.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, yeah. Anything to not talk about the movie.
God,
we open on Rachel Dratch. She was on SNL. Did you know that?
We need to start having phone calls about other things besides the show so we can get this out, not being recorded.
Rachel Dratch is in a prison cell, and she's having a rough night of sleep, and this is interspersed with news footage of various anchors and different goofy Texas local news station channels. And it's catching us up on the saga of Bianca Del Rio that took place in the first movie. So we can glean that Dratch somehow rigged some contest, possibly in the school, because I think she was a teacher at the school or the principal of the school or something. Rigged the contest so her daughter would win, and also exposed Bianca Del Rio, who's Richard Martinez, as being gay. But then it also came out that Dratch had sex with an underage student, and she went to prison for that, and Bianca Del Rio, Richard Martinez, came out as the hero of that story.
But
also, hold your questions, Dratch's daughter was bit in the titty by a snake, and now her breast implant saved her life, but now her boobs are uneven.
Okay, I mean, that's somehow the thing I can understand the most.
Okay.
So, question the first. So, Bianca Del Rio and Richard Martinez?
Yes, I'll be calling him Martinez.
Okay, are they, in the context of the movie, are they separate entities? Is it like Superman and Clark Kent?
Kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Some people don't know that Bianca Del Rio is Martinez, but most of the characters involved do know.
Mm-hmm. So that might have been the case in the first movie, maybe?
I don't know for sure.
Oh, okay. You didn't go back and watch it for clarity?
No, fuck you, Larry.
You disappoint
We get a nightmare sequence where Dratch imagines Bianca Del Rio coming into the prison as her new cellmate. Bianca laughs maniacally and says she's going to take a massive dump, and it's sure going to stink.
Our hero?
Yeah. Okay. Dratch wakes up screaming, and the warden, who has a minute of screen time and is played by Wanda Sykes, lets her know that it's the day of her release. So they go into the prison office, starts working on paperwork. Sykes begins to get undressed to get ready to have stinky lesbian sex with Dratch, but then Dratch mentions how she found Christ, and Sykes buttons her shirt back up.
What?
Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere.
I despise Wanda Sykes, so I didn't know she was in this. I must have stopped watching right before she showed up.
Very briefly, she's in. So Dratch walks out of the prison, a crazy purpley thunderstorm raging around her. She looks forlorn and says, "Isn't someone coming to pick me up?" And then she's immediately knocked over by a tumbleweed. Which...
What?
I don't know. I think this movie was trying to do a lot of what The Package did, where it's so over the top and kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it doesn't strike the right tone, or I'm too straight. I don't know which.
Isaac, and know that I love you deeply when I say this. I don't think in the, 12 years I've known you, I've ever heard you say the words, "I'm too straight."
Yeah, and I've been. This movie's made me question a couple things.
All right.
I'm gonna have a weird confession later on too. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh my.
So we get the opening credits of the movie, which play over footage of sexy silhouetted cowboys and cowgirls dancing against a backdrop of fire, which then transitions into Russian dancers choreographed in front of like a neon black version of the Kremlin while fireworks explode. It actually looks really good. I don't know how they had the budget to do this, but it looks like an awesome but very gay James Bond opening sequence.
I was just thinking, that sounds like James Bond.
And they have, like, the music. Like, it's not the same music, but it could fit in.
Yeah, so. I guess the title is a play on From Russia with Love, which is a Bond movie.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know very much about James Bond.
I've seen a lot of them, but it was a long time ago, and it was like with my aunt one day. We spent the day watching James Bond movies, and she loves them, and we're doing it again. God damn it! I know a little bit about me. No little James Bond. Period. God damn it.
So, Richard Martinez, the Clark Kent to Bianca Del Rio. I wrote that down in my review, so you got there ahead of me.
All right. Sorry to steal your thunder accidentally.
It's all good. I do it to you all the time. He comes out of a high school bantering sassily with his students. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that's just lame and it's not funny. I don't know. Where he's just walking out and he says to one of his girl students, "No, Sharon, I'm pretty sure the Earth is round." And one of the other kids says, "Oh, Mr. Martinez, does Sputnik really mean potato in Russia?" And he laughs and gets all sassy and like does the slap thing on his shoulder and says, "Sputnik was launched in 1957. You know, the year your grandmother spread her legs for your grandfather and gave birth to your cousin daddy." It was really weird. I don't know. Inbreeding, gay sass.
Is that gay sass, or is that just a bad written joke?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm still not gay enough to know.
All right. Let's
do a focus group.
We'll correct that.
Martinez, his friends pull up in a car. They've just arrived from New York. We have Steven, who is one of the other people who is on RuPaul's Drag Race, the actual actor. He's also very sassy with a take-no-shit attitude. And we have Rex, who's a super skinny, totally drugged out. I don't know if they're actually transgender, but it seems to be, if I had to guess, a male to female transgender, or possibly just drag queen. I really don't know.
Okay, well,
but she seems to be pretty feminine, but is or was a man. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, and maybe we can cut this section right now that I'm saying, and maybe the following if we realize we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But is there, or do you know the difference between a transvestite and like a drag queen, or is that just interchangeable?
I actually don't know.
Maybe we should cut that out.
I think.
So we don't sound horribly.
I think it's just the different words for the same thing, pretty much. And I think transvestite might be like more outdated, or it confuses people because of transvestite versus transgender. Yeah, and people assume they're the same thing.
Right.
So I don't know. But so yeah, Rex is totally drugged out and insane and drinks lighter fluid straight from the can. And they make jokes about how
lighter fluid.
Yeah.
You passed by that awfully quickly.
Oh, yeah. Martinez is like, "Is that lighter fluid you're drinking?" And what the fuck's his name? Steven's like, "Oh, honey, I'm pretty sure it's just vodka in there. He's just using that as a flask. Otherwise, he would have been dead a long time ago." I don't know.
I don't. Is that funny in any culture? It's confusing, kind of.
Yeah, Rex, and the actor who plays Rex gets that role right and plays it well, and sometimes is kind of funny. I don't think I laughed out loud at all at anything, but the character was mildly amusing in a weird way. I don't know. So we get some more newscast footage. The Milfy, Texas news anchors talk about Russia's recent crackdown on homosexuality and the appointment by Vladimir Putin of an anti-gay czar who looks like a severe Rosie O'Donnell, but is not actually portrayed by Rosie O'Donnell. But I don't know. Looks like Rosie's like beat-up biker sister.
What? Wait. We did it. Dozy O'Ronald.
Oh, right. Yeah, the porn we're going to write. Yeah, narcoleptic porn.
She's back.
I started writing a script for that and then realized I don't know how to write porn and gave up. Spent like half an hour on it. I was like, oh, wow, this is hard.
No way. We can totally do it, man. We just got to collaborate.
Dratch gets home and announces to her daughter her intention to get back at Bianca Del Rio. The daughter says they're broke and they need money to fix her uneven boobs. They watch more of the newscast about gay people in Russia, and the anchors tell all the queers in Texas to relax, because even though they can legally be discriminated against, at least it's better than Saudi Arabia, where they throw gay people off of buildings. Cut to a fantasy of Dratch pushing Bianca Del Rio off a tall building and laughing maniacally as lightning strikes around her.
Okay.
Right. And and we get like 3 more of these scenes throughout the movie. It's kind of a running gag, and it's always, you see Bianca in like full makeup with crazy outfit and like long pointed nails, and she has some insult or something like, oh god, I don't know. Like, is that dress you're wearing from your mother's sofa or your grandmother's sofa? Or something ridiculous. I don't know.
That's an insult I've used this week.
Are you a drag queen?
No.
Not yet. Not yet
queen.
Is the correct answer.
Oh, I've got the tits for it.
Have you measured your cup size?
No.
I feel like we should do that. If we ever get a Patreon, that'll be a Patreon reward.
Not for me, it won't. You can.
We'll measure our cup size on video and send it to you.
I don't need to know that information.
But then our listeners can send us brassieres that'll fit.
You're right. I've got so many brassieres here that are just the wrong size.
I know, it's very uncomfortable.
Oh, God, this conversation's uncomfortable.
Well, it's only going to get worse.
Oh, good.
So Martinez, Steven, and Rex party super hard at Martinez's like lame-ass suburban house. Again, I guess, I don't have the frame of mind to appreciate this, but it's one of those things where Steven's talking about how Martinez needs to move back to the city and get out of this podunk Texas town. And Martinez says, I don't party crazy hard anymore. Let's have a girls' night in. I got a box of wine with our names on it. And Steven, like, gives him a sassy look, puts his hand on his hip, and is like, you had me a box of wine, bitch. I don't know. It just doesn't amuse me. But I feel like some people would think that's great. And that's okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Again, not my cup of tea. My cup of tea has less penis in it, probably. And penis tea is fine if you like penis tea.
I guess, man. Do whatever you want. Just don't hurt anybody.
Pretty much. Consenting adults.
Yeah, right. Fuck it.
Literally, and their livestock. Where were we?
Bars are not consent, okay? Don't fuck your pets.
Martinez wakes up the next morning and he's been put through the ringer. I don't know, man. Steven and Rex seem to be fine. I guess they party all the time. Although Rex is in a onesie and says he thinks he has a deck of cards in his ass. Steven announces he's leaving for Hollywood and he's leaving Rex in Texas with Martinez. And while they're arguing about this, Rex almost licks antifreeze from the driveway before Martinez can stop him. And Steven drives away.
Who are these characters?
I don't know. I don't know, Larry. I really don't.
What is happening?
Dratch and daughter hide in... Did I miss part of it? Hold on. Maybe I did. So their plan, Dratch's plan, is to trick Martinez into going to Russia as Bianca Del Rio to accept a fake $100,000 science prize, and then once they're in Russia, she'll out him as being a gay drag queen and get him locked in a gulag forever.
I have several questions.
That would be the From Russia with Hate part of the movie.
That seems a mite complicated.
Yes.
Some would call it excessive.
Yes, also.
Okay, so she doesn't want to just kill her.
Nope.
I guess she wants
She's a good Christian woman. And there's jokes about her being, a good Christian woman and loving Trump and stuff. Very topical.
Yeah, because movies are topical. You know what they also are? Timeless.
Yes.
I'm sure in 20 years it'll be just as funny as it is now.
Yeah, I don't know if this movie's got a lot of staying power, Larry. Although I don't like penis tea, so I don't know, man. Okay. This is so weird. Yes, okay. This is a hot mess. This plot is a hot mess. So Dratch sends the fake award to Bianca, and Martinez gets the letter and thinks it looks suspicious, but Rex convinces him that they both ought to go and claim the reward. Martinez is reluctant to take Rex at first, but then Rex says, okay, I'll just stay here in your house, and that's even a worse possibility. So we cut to Dratch and daughter hiding in the steerage of a container ship. Dratch has a raccoon in her purse in case they need it. Martinez and Rex arrive at their rundown motel room in Russia. They turn on the TV to watch Homo Hunters. Pun of Home Hunters.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's a show sponsored by the Tsar of Anti-Gayness about destitute Russians shopping for dilapidated homes. So the gag is like, oh yes, that's very open floor plan when the snow from Siberia blows through the holes in the wall. Yeah, Russia's poor.
Oh,
whatever.
Okay. All right.
The wife of the Russian couple in this show, Homo Hunters, is played by Kristen Johnston, who plays Sally in Third Rock from the Sun and played Wilma in our movie Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas.
Oh, yeah, and if I do recall from Viva Rock Vegas, a early source of eroticism for you. Is that not correct?
Yes, and the years have not been kind to her. Or they have a very good makeup artist. She's got the Russia frump going on. I mean, I do too, so I can't talk, but...
Yeah, I mean, you never had a chance with her, so it doesn't really...
Good point.
Yeah, I mean... But... wow, interesting.
But yeah, I'd still do her. Okay. And that's the only thing that matters about it.
How is your wife?
I think she has her head in the oven. Oh, got it. Martinez and Rex show up at the Russian science fair. Martinez starts crushing very hard on a sexy blonde Russian male scientist. But they're in Russia, so they have to hide the fact that they're gay, even though Rex is in full drag. And, okay, I was very attracted to Rex.
Interesting.
He's very pretty, especially in drag. And as I was watching this again today, typing up my notes, I, watched about half an hour, and then, he comes out in his full blonde wig and makeup and stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm going to pause this movie, put on some good old-fashioned heterosexual porn, and rub one out, so I'm not thinking about how attracted I am to Rex, and I can focus on reviewing this movie.
That is probably the highest compliment he can ever get. She, pardon if I get that incorrect. You know what I mean?
And they are, I don't know. I guess it's my type, is skinny, drugged out, crazy drag queens. So, there's that.
I want to see a picture of this person now.
Try to find a flattering one. And of her dolled up. See if it does it for you.
You got it.
Got it. So, yeah, Martinez is crushing super hard on sexy blonde Russian male scientist, but has to be sort of discreet, but they both kind of get flirty, and you're like, oh, is he secretly gay or whatever? I don't know. We see him demonstrating his science fair project. He plugs a light bulb into a potato and it lights up. And some destitute Russians ask, when can we eat potato? And he says, no, it's for electricity. And they look sad and leave. Russia's poor. Haha. Yeah.
Jokes never get old, eh?
Extent of the joke. So we see Dratch and daughter sneaking around the science fair. Daughter mentions she wants to get lunch soon because she's hungry and the raccoon wasn't very filling. So now we know what happened there. Dratch has another...
That's a fairly okay gag, normally.
And Dratch has another fantasy of pushing Bianca off a tall building. It's something like, when my students have class with me, they get wit and sass. When they have class with you, they get stinky old ass. And then, yeah, she pushes him off the building.
Okay. So, as of yet, has Bianca actually been in the movie, not just in Dratch's head?
No.
Okay.
So, Martinez and Rex get back to their motel and find that the Russian police have raided the room and confiscated all of Bianca's drag. They play it off like Bianca's another person, and they were just taking those outfits to Bianca's mother, who has cancer? I don't know.
Okay, what is happening? Let's take stock of what's happening.
We're in Mother Russia.
Where the drag wears you. Yeah. Rachel Dratch and her daughter are there to get money to make her tits the same size. And
they're mostly there to get back at Bianca Del Rio. And then while they're in Russia, which Dratch calls basically the entire country's a dollar store. I'm okay with that one. But yeah, says, we can get your boob job done very cheap over here in Russia.
Okay.
So, two birds with one stone kind of thing.
All right. Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. It's just... So is Bianca like an international sensation?
No. Steven says something at some point about Bianca making Martinez famous, but gay famous, which is pretty much the same, but you don't get as much money.
Okay.
So I don't know what that fame translates to, but Martinez is still a high school chemistry teacher and is like more or less retired Bianca, kind of. Or is sort of reluctant to bring her out. I don't really know. So Dratch
I feel like you should watch the first... Let's pause right here. You go watch the first movie, and then we can come at this from a different angle.
Let's pause right here, and you can go fuck yourself. So Dratch and daughter have the room adjacent to Martinez and Rex. Dratch eavesdrops and says, "Those queer burgers are going to a gay bar tonight." And the daughter looks very wistful and says, burgers. And
how old's the daughter?
I think she's supposed to be just out of high school, but she looks like she's 27 or something.
Okay.
But
because so far she's been treated, at least in the review, like she's 13.
No, yeah, she's a grown person. And, we see her, she's always, like, worrying about her boobs being uneven. We see her, like, stuffing newspaper down her shirt to mock even them out.
All right, fair enough.
The whole thing's weird. So, and yeah, I think it happens 2 or 3 times where Dratch will say something about, like, queer burgers or some kind of food-related thing about those queers, and the daughter gets hungry. So, but it never goes anywhere. Martinez and Rex go to the gay bar and meet Katya, a blonde drag queen who is very obviously Martinez's crush from the science fair. There's some gag where the scientist's name is Dimitri, and Martinez, being all flirty, is like, "Oh, Dimitri, nice to meet ya." And then as soon as the drag queen Katya comes out, she says, "Oh, it's a pleasure to meet ya." And it's like, "Oh, yeah," but fucking Martinez doesn't seem to pick up on it. Whatever.
So wait. And Martinez is there as Martinez?
Yes.
Okay. Because all his
drag was confiscated, and he needs to get new drag to claim the reward, which he still thinks is real, as Bianca Del Rio the following day.
This is complicated.
Yeah. So,
good
Dratch
Lord.
and daughter are sneaking around the gay bar. Dratch is wearing a coon hat. Right. Dratch sends daughter into the gay bar as an undercover spy. An undercover Russian cop arrests Rex for being gay, and also the daughter, assuming she's also a drag queen. And
wait a minute, they're at a gay bar. Hold on.
It's like a secret gay bar.
Why
like you have to knock
everybody?
the right way or something. I don't know. It's an underground gay bar.
Okay. I'm so confused.
So am I, Larry. Yeah, so the cop whisks Rex and daughter away on a bike. Like, he's pedaling a bike and he's got the little ding-ding bell, and he's got a tiny, almost like a rickshaw, but on the back of the bike for the two of them to sit in.
Okay.
And Rex gets on, and because he's drugged out and crazy, goes, wee! And I'm attracted to him. It's weird, man. Yep. So Martinez and Dratch meet up in the alley, chasing after the respective loved ones. Martinez doesn't really love Rex. I don't know. Whatever. Love-hate relationship. They proceed to have a trash fight, where they literally throw trash at each other, while the gay bar is raided by the Russian police, and Katya fights back viciously, smashing bottles over cops, stamping on their balls with her stilettos, and eventually defeats all the police and flees. Martinez gets on the phone with Steven, who is backstage as a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race. So this is getting all kinds of meta. Steven is all done up in drag, and I'm also very attracted to him.
You know what?
Probably more so than Rex. Rex is like the girl next door.
Yeah.
Like you'd have a chance with. And Steven is like, holy shit, I would like cut my legs off to get a crack at that ass, I guess. So
wow, okay.
Yeah.
This is good. I want you to embrace this publicly for my amusement.
This is not my coming out episode. This is sexuality's weird episode.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sexuality is really fluid. Now, what folks that you can't see is on camera right now, Isaac is slowly putting on a gigantic blonde wig, and I don't even think he knows he's doing it.
Oh, shit. I meant it to be a clown wig.
He's quite pretty. He's like a 6 out of 10. Let's see what the makeup is.
Rex and daughter arrive in the Russian gulag. Rex compliments her for being pretty and is nice and stands up for her against a tough prison drag bitch. And the two start to bond.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And there's some, I guess it's supposed to be a heartfelt moment. It's a good sentiment, too, where she's like, I can't, I always was raised hating gay people, but you're so nice. And Rex says, no, I'm not. I'm a bitch. I'm just actually a human being, and you're recognizing that for the first time. It's good.
Yeah,
so
that's
good
messaging.
Cute little sentiment packed in there. Yeah. So Martinez and Dratch meet up again in the streets. Martinez suggests they work together. They argue, and then Katya jumps out from behind trash cans and whisks them away to get in disguises as blonde kind of hookers. I don't know why Dratch has to be in a disguise, but she is.
Okay. I'm very confused.
Yeah. But Katya can't go with them for some reason, so... oh my god. We cut to the prison, where they're having a drag runway walk down the center of the cell block, complete with bright colored lights flashing. Oh. And then the prison guards come in and break it up. I don't...
What is going on?
Martinez and Dratch arrive in disguise at the prison to visit with their respective prisoners. Dratch tells her daughter she plans to work with Martinez until daughter is released and then turn on him and get him imprisoned. And the daughter starts showing signs of, do we really want to do that? Like, isn't that kind of mean? Alright, and that's basically the end of that. Martinez has a dream sequence where he comes face to face with Bianca in a stormy purple dream realm, and Bianca's like, "You'll be your best self, bitch. You gotta take this bull by the horns," or something. I don't remember, but yeah, basically you go, girl. I don't know. I'm very overwhelmed. Martinez checks Rex's suitcase and finds a bunch of drugs, and suddenly there's a knock on the door. A Russian delivery woman comes in with a dolly and shoves an enormous box through the door, then immediately leaves. And Steven pops out of the box with all of Bianca's drag. Uh-huh. And we get a montage with appropriate slow motion, I'll give him credit for that, of Steven and Martinez dressing up in drag. And this is like an hour into the movie now at this point, honestly. So it's
Good
like
Lord.
we're finally getting Bianca in the flesh, not just a fantasy. So it's done up. There's music. It's the whole thing.
Nice.
Close up of them like applying the eyeliner and stuff. And for some reason, they need to dress Dratch up for their plan to work. I don't know what their plan is yet. And we get a slow motion shot of the three of them in their full outfits walking somewhere. It's how off the rails do you think this is on a scale of 1 to 10?
I feel like within the context of itself it makes sense, but I have no idea what the fuck is going on. So let's give it a 6.
I want to let you know right now we're at a 3 and we're going up to a 10.
Oh god. This can't be good.
Oh god. So they go to the science fair dressed up. What? Okay.
But they're wanted by the...
I know.
Gays are being rounded up by the... Okay. I mean...
So, Russian scientist Crush is not there. They talk to another scientist who's covered in soot and also smoking a cigarette. I don't know how connected those things are. But... they tell him they need directions to a place that sells dangerous chemicals, and he gives them the directions... so they can steal the dangerous chemicals.
Okay.
And we cut to the three of them walking past the Kremlin with a fully assembled bomb. Like, sticks of, like, yellow dynamite with, like, wires hanging out of it and, like, a clock on it.
All right.
Steven is off to plant the bomb, I guess, in the Kremlin, which is above the secret gulag gay prison that Rex and Daughter are in. Meanwhile,
is this a declaration of war by America? Are we at war with Russia now? Is this how we're doing it?
I think so. So Steven's off to plant the bomb. Bianca and Dratch are going to go to the prison to pose as prostitutes who are sent to cure the gay drag queens of their flaming gayness.
Okay, sure.
We see Rex strapped to a chair in a room with Janine Garofalo and a shirtless buff prison guard.
Okay.
Janine Garofalo is playing a Russian scientist.
For those of for any listeners or podcast hosts that might not remember who Janine Garofalo is.
Yeah, she's just a random comedian. I think she was on SNL for a hot minute too, actually, which is probably why she knows Dratch and is connected to this. But she was around in like the late '90s and has had bit parts in movies. I think she was in a Woody Allen movie for a little bit.
I mean, I know the name because how the hell do you forget a name like Janine Garofalo? But I don't. Yeah, I don't remember anything else she was.
She's a fairly famous comedian, and like, especially back then when women comedians really had to struggle a lot to get into the business. She and Sarah Silverman were two of the more successful female comedians from the 90s.
All right, fair enough.
So, yeah, Janine Garofalo puts a boner measuring device over Rex's crotch.
Okay.
Garofalo forces Bianca to kiss Rex so she can measure if he gets a boner, which will mean he's cured of his gayness. Neither Bianca or Rex want to kiss, and they banter, and Bianca makes jokes about throwing up in Rex's mouth, and they're very upset, but eventually they kiss. But alas, Rex does not pop wood. But then Bianca's sexy Russian scientist from the science fair walks into the room as the scientist, not as Katya, and makes some adjustments to the machines. Bianca finally realizes that he is actually Katya, and Bianca and Rex talk openly about how the scientist is Katya, and how the hell could Bianca not have noticed that? It was obvious to Rex, and the gag, I guess, is Rex is that oblivious to things, but picked up on this when Bianca didn't. But also, they're discussing it openly 5 feet away from Janine Garofalo, who's the evil Russian scientist, who thinks Bianca is an actual female prostitute, so is really getting off the rails.
What?
We're still only at like a 6. We're only at a 6.
Is an orgy going to be the end of this movie?
Scientist sneaks Bianca a potato. Bianca leans in to kiss Rex again and stuffs the potato inside Rex's pants, which sets off the boner detector. Rex gets up to go back to his cell.
Can that be a t-shirt? 1,000 Netflix t-shirt. It just says on the front, ... which sets off the boner detector.
my god. Rex gets up to go back to his prison cell because Janeane Garofalo says, "Oh, that was a good sign, but you need many, many more rounds of treatment. So they're not actually going to be free. It's not cured of gayness, whatever." So he gets up to go back to his cell. The potato falls out of his pants, and a deck of cards falls out of his ass. And they are all exposed for the scam they're running. Janeane Garofalo pulls a gun on them, and we're going to 10 real fast. Bianca starts insulting Dratch, who screams very shrilly, which apparently attracts rats. Scientist/Katya says it's rat mating season. Janeane Garofalo starts shooting at the rats, but runs out of bullets, and they quickly overrun her and begin mating with her face, where we see a silhouette of the rats climbing on her face and thrusting while she says, "Oh no, they're mating with my face." Bianca, Dratch, and Scientist/Katya arrive at the daughter's cell just as an obese drag queen is about to eat the daughter's fingers. Rex shows up holding a prison guard by the dick and forces him to let all the drag queens out. Daughter then shoves her own mother, Dratch, in the prison cell and locks her up. She's had a change of heart, and she realizes that the gays aren't the enemy and her mom is a total bitch. Dratch screams shrilly, summoning another horde of horny rats that rape her. Do you need me to repeat any of that?
No questions. I think that pretty succinctly wraps that up. Whew. Okay, so that took a turn.
Yeah, it did. It did.
So 2 women get raped by animals.
Yeah, and we get we see a lot of footage of just regular pet rats. Like they bought a dozen rats from the pet store and just like emptied the bucket on the floor. But then there's also a weird, I'm not sure if it's CGI or actual puppetry, but a lasciviously grinning, like Wallace and Gromit type rat is weird.
Oh no!
Yeah, which makes the rape thing a lot weirder.
Oh
like
god!
Yeah, it's very what's the word? Humanized? What's the
like Uncanny Valley. Well, no, like anthropomorphized?
That's it, yes.
Okay, yeah.
The expressions of the rat make it a lot more anthropomorphic-y, which makes the rape a little creepier, because if it's just a bunch of rats having sex with a lady's face, you kind of can't blame the rats, but as soon as, I don't know, you
I think I might blame the rats still. I think I might still take issue with the rats.
Yeah, but the rats don't know what they're doing, but when the rats look into the camera and give it a grin, like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to rape this bitch," that's when it gets creepy.
Okay, so that happens.
Then all of the good guys are outside of the prison, ready to leave, but the Rosie O'Donnell anti-gay SAR shows up and is going to arrest them all over again. But Steven reaches inside of her wig for the detonator and blows up the entire Kremlin, exploding the Tsar into pieces.
Oh, okay.
And it's implied that the fat lady who was going to eat the daughter's fingers is going to eat the leg of the anti-gay Tsar that lands next to her. We just don't see that. We get a happily ever montage with all the players and where their respective lives take them, and a final scene where we see Dratch crawl out of the exploded wreckage of the Kremlin, holding a rat, setting up Hurricane Bianca the Third.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
I was not expecting that.
It goes really off the rails. It starts off in one place, and it ends very differently.
Yeah, that's really out there.
Lesson in escalation. Like, you know, the graphs of, like, a story, like, rising action,
yeah,
and then, like, peak conflict and resolution and everything.
Sure.
This is just, like, a steady incline until the end.
I mean, God, it kind of sounds like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Just be having, like, the Bianca character not in until later.
Yeah, that's really how it's set up, and like the big reveal where she gets suited up, and I don't know.
No, I don't like it.
So yeah, I mean, plot's not everything, and this is the kind of movie that obviously, kind of like the package, like it's the plot's not the important part. The plot's a vehicle for the performances and the jokes and stuff. So it's not winning any Oscars, but like the package did fine. It was fine. This just it's too convoluted. They don't hit that right tone of tongue-in-cheek and like over the top. Really, there's a certain grandeur, I will say, to the total balls to the wall absurdity of the rats and everything. I'll give it credit for that. Like it goes all the way with it. So yeah, they didn't pull any punches, but it didn't really work for me. Bianca Del Rio or Roy, whatever his last name is fine. He plays the role fine. It's just the kind of role I'm not all that familiar with or all that particularly interested in. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Rachel Dratch myself. I don't know. I feel like a lot of her acting is based on the use of her gigantic eyes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan, but that is, golly, that got off the fucking rails.
Yeah, very, very strange, and some weird. Not exactly cameo, I guess cameos, but you got Wanda Sykes, you got Janine Garofalo, and you got Kristen Johnston in there. Huh. So some weird, like, one-off, sort of B-C list celebrities.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I really don't know how to rate it. Like, just my personal enjoyment, pretty low, like a 2. Like, wasn't terrible. There were a couple, some things that were amusing. It was confusing as all hell, but and some of the acting was okay for what it was. But at the same time, I could see a couple of gay guys or some basic bitches sitting down with a box of wine and loving this movie to death, just absolutely adoring it and thinking it's the greatest thing in the world. And there's a place for that.
Sure.
There's a time where Britney Spears music is the best music in the world.
Yeah.
If you're at the right party, you're dancing with the right people, it's the best thing in the world. And that's what this movie is. It's trash, but in the right context, I'm sure it's awesome.
Like, there's a niche it could fit in.
Yeah. Not very different from, say, Leo the Lion, which is unadulterated trash.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, fair enough. It feels like, kind of like describing a foreign movie. Like, I feel like I know so little about any of that type of culture. I don't know what even to say in response to it other than that it sounds like it was incredibly convoluted and confusing.
We should culturally diversify and take a trip over to Gay Island sometime.
Gay Island.
Immerse ourselves in the culture.
Is Gay Island, is that a place?
Yeah, Manhattan.
Please direct your hate mail to bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com.
I fucked that up because I should have said Gay Peninsula and then said San Francisco. That would have been better.
It's more accurate, but Gay Island is...
This is true.
I'm delighted that you found a new... what's the right word? Not preference. A new... Not fetish is not correct. A new avenue of sexual experience to treat yourself to. I think it's important you follow that and just report back.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried watching gay porn. It just doesn't do it for me.
I can't get it.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Rex was cute. Rex was really cute. And Steven, oh my god. Steven's like, cut your legs off to fuck level. I swear to God.
Well, it's very open. I'm very proud of you. I can't get over the makeup. It's too much. I don't like makeup on. I don't like on anybody. Okay. I don't really like makeup as makeup on people, on human beings. Mm-hmm. And I think from what I have seen of like drag queens and like the bits and pieces I've seen of RuPaul's Drag Race here and there, I feel like there's so much that it's just I can't take any of it seriously.
Yeah.
It was like, if it was, a traditionally attractive woman with that much makeup, it would be too much for me. It would be just, this is absurd.
Yeah. I don't particularly like a lot of makeup in real life.
Yeah.
But I can still be attracted to like someone I see on screen or picture with a ton of makeup.
Sure.
But I don't know, especially actually like canoodling with them and just all that shit rubbing off on you.
Yeah.
I don't know, be a little much.
I've had to throw out pillowcases in the past. Yeah. Stop wearing so much fucking rouge.
Oh god. So yeah, that was fucking Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hate.
Not what I expected.
I don't know if you can hear sleigh bells, Larry, but I think Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, this was a weird 2 weeks. Let's move on. But I don't... I can hear him. I can hear the sleighs.
Our next 2 episodes are leading up into Christmas Day, and 'tis the season to be jolly.
Because we're gonna be fucking Americans, we have to celebrate every holiday.
We're going to be doing some Christmas movies for you.
Right.
And, Larry, I have 3 movies that are all very, very different.
You can go suck my cock.
And I know one of them is going to be atrocious. I'm scared one of them is really good.
God damn it.
And the other one, I'm just curious about. And I really don't know, but it would be a change of pace. So, there is 3 keywords that are vaguely associated with these movies, or at least I can draw the lines for you.
Great.
So you're going to pick from the keywords, and it'll determine which movie you have to watch.
Great.
So your keywords are Hitler.
All right.
Endor.
I'm sorry, what?
Endor.
Okay.
And Frankenstein.
What in the world?
So do you want Hitler, do you want Endor, or do you want Frankenstein?
Okay, well, I feel like I'd be stepping on your toes if I watch a movie about Nazis. So Nazis are your bag. Just like apparently fucking Air Bud is mine.
Yeah.
I as a fan of Star Wars, I'm gonna hope that when you say Endor, you're talking about the fucking... Oh my god, I can't think of their names. What are the fucking little bear Jawas called?
Ewoks,
thank you. I'm hoping that this has Warwick Davis in it. So I'm going to go with Endor.
Okay, you've picked the movie I'm scared is good.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, so you're an asshole. I'm going to let you know the other ones. You missed out. Frankenstein is associated with this movie because Peter Boyle... Or Frank, is it Peter Boyle or Frank Boyle? I fucked that up last time.
I think it's Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle. He played Frankenstein's monster in Young Frankenstein, the Mel Brooks movie. He also played Ray Romano's father on Everyone Loves Raymond. And Doris Roberts played the mother. And Doris Roberts is in this movie called Merry Christmas.
Okay, that's a bit of a leap, but okay.
Hitler.
That's 6 degrees of fucking Santa Claus, but okay.
Hitler, as you know, was... pretty much the launching point of World War II. And World War II was heavily featured in this Christmas movie. It's kind of a war propaganda movie. You narrowly missed White Christmas. Old-timey Christmas classic.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Weird and confusing, and I've never seen it, and I wanted to hear about it, so I'm disappointed. And Endor, which you guessed correctly, as Warwick Davis, is in this movie.
Oh, sweet. Did I really fucking...
Yes.
Man, I'm good. God, how does it feel, America, who's certainly listening to this, how does it feel to not be me? Because it must suck to not be this fucking good. Oh, God, I'm so fucking hard.
Wait, quick, pull up a picture of Rex. See what it does for you. This movie is called Get Santa.
God damn it. What is...
It involves Santa going to prison.
When Santa gets arrested for trespassing after crashing his sleigh, it's up to a father-son team to spring him from jail and save Christmas. This can't be good. What are you...
I know. It looks terrible. It's a British comedy.
Oh.
Warwick Davis is in it, and it's got like a 76 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, Warwick Davis is in it, because I do see from the thumbnail that he's in it. It's on Netflix. It says starring Jim Broadbent, Rafe Spall, and Kit Connor. Which Kit Connor, that's Jon Snow, isn't it?
No, Kit Harington.
That's Kit Harington. Excuse me. I'd see Kit, and I think no other idiot would name their son Kit.
It's a good point.
It's a car's name.
Named after a fucking candy bar.
That's the answer to the car in Knight Rider. Warwick Davis is not even listed as starring. If you have Warwick Davis in your movie, he is the fucking star. I don't care what you say.
He's got an interesting part, let's say.
I have to admit, I'm not really a fan of British comedies. I know that's like sacrilege in the nerd community, kind of, but I don't know. Some of them are very funny, but a lot of them just don't do it for me.
I was discussing these movies with the missus, actually, in a brief window of time where she wasn't mad enough, and she actually wanted to talk to me. And she was
Your
saying...
court ordered 1 hour of conversation per month.
She was asking how you felt about British comedies, and I couldn't actually remember, because it's like penis. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
There's some British comedies I really... Like, there's a show called League of Gentlemen that I thought was amazing. Hilarious. Awesome. There's a lot of like the traditionally very funny stuff. It's like hit or miss for me, and anything that's any kind of obscure really doesn't do it for me for the most part. Like historically, I don't know. It's harder to say. Like it's harder to get like a baseline for me on those how I really feel about them. So, but this looks, this is 2014. It looks an hour and 42 minutes. It's a Christmas movie. It should be like 40 minutes max.
40 minutes.
God.
That was one thing about Bianca Del Rio, like minus the credits, it was like 79 minutes long.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
This is I think our shortest episode ever. Even with our ending bit.
So many Christmas movies that I wanted to do. Merry Christmas looks so bad.
Yeah. It's on a similar note. I don't have choices for you. I forgot that it's December and Christmas time, so I came prepared until about 20 minutes before we started. As I was on the toilet, I realized, Christ, I need to pick a Christmas movie. So I hastily picked one. I pulled up some movies, and I picked one which looked the most wholesome.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, and I want to point out, this beat out Christian Mingle, which I did not know was a Christmas movie, but that was, we could have gone back down that railroad. And 2 different Air Bud Christmas movies, which I can't believe we're not doing. We'll have to hold on to that for next Christmas if we haven't killed each other by then.
Now, when you say wholesome, is that like a peanut vendor at a ball game? Like, anyone wants some whole? Anyone wants some whole? Because I'd be okay with that.
No.
No?
What are you talking about? No, I want you to... It's a little movie here, and I do not know, ironically, if like Christian Mingle, I do not know if it's religious, because I looked at it for about 45 seconds. It is a movie called Angels in the Snow.
No, why? Oh... A bickering couple takes their children on a Christmas vacation and gets a lesson in love and respect after giving shelter to a stranded family.
Doesn't that sound right up our alley?
I'm pretty sure that... Oh, maybe not. Okay. I thought the stranded family was black, and it was going to be like, we learned to overcome racism.
They are.
Oh, they are?
They are.
Oh. I'm seeing a lot of white people in here. There's some black people.
Yeah. Okay.
The milk chocolate, though. It's
not
palatable
sure.
Black people. There's a reason Beyonce made it from Destiny's Child. This country's fucked. That's why.
Look, I'm seeing some concerned-looking white people opening the door for 3 black people bundled up in coats and blankets. So I think, okay, this might be a real winner here. Oh boy, yes! I really hope this is Christian.
I don't want Angels in the Snow. It's not Christian. It's fucking a Muslim Christmas movie. You fucking.
It's
not. It's not.
Something up.
No.
For Christmas in July, I'm gonna find a Muslim Christmas movie.
Why would that exist?
I wonder if the Muslim characters will get names. He says, turning to pointedly looking down the barrel of the camera at a cowgirl's story. That piece of shit.
Oh, God. We're going to have some interesting movies for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we knew this was coming. We have to celebrate fucking holidays. Because it's December. It's Christmas month. It's the birth of Christ and the birth of me. You know, jury's out on which one's more important, but...
It's a good point. You're only a day off, too.
One's more historically significant, in fairness. But that Christ, he's trying.
Yeah, you'll make it. You got time.
Yeah, I mean...
Jesus didn't do shit until he was 30.
Hey, he did a bunch of shit as a kid. A bunch of, like, little fucking kid shit that people...
Yeah, you did a bunch of little fucking kid shit.
Like
I'm sure
what?
Once you become... I don't... Well, no one gives a shit now. Once you met the Messiah, everyone's going to look back and be like, oh, yeah, when Larry was 12, he fucking, I don't know, jacked off to a Boscov's ad.
I didn't know how to jerk off at age 12, but that is a story for a different podcast.
We have discussed my first masturbatory experience in a hot tub that my dad later got into, and the cum probably got in his back and he didn't realize. We still haven't discussed your first masturbatory experience. It has to come out, as every 12-year-old says.
I don't remember how old I was. But it was old enough to know better.
So at 23?
I'll tell you what. I know I make promises to tell stories on episodes, but I mean it this time. I'm going to write a note. Next episode, at the end of next episode, we'll put some sleigh bells under it, and we'll call it the Christmas Miracle.
So I think that what this means, audience, is that Larry has not yet masturbated, and he's going to go do some homework so he can tell us about the first time he ever masturbated.
Yeah, send me pictures of Rex, please. I want to test the theory. No, it's an incredibly embarrassing story, and I was kind of waiting for some people to be dead so that there's no possible chance of them ever hearing this.
You just put on like a voice modulator. Like you're robbing a bank or something.
I've sworn to myself, because I'm pretty open about my life. I don't really give a shit about who knows what about my life, but never told this story.
Oh.
To anyone.
If you wanted to keep this a secret, you shouldn't have said anything you did in the last 30 seconds.
No.
Because now I'm so intrigued.
No, I mean, it's a funny story for everyone who's not me. And to my grandmother.
Oh boy!
So there you go. So there's your little treat to coming up on we'll call it the Christmas Eve episode. I guess it won't be Christmas. It'll be what
I think the 23rd we come out. So just about.
Oh, that'll be your next episode, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, yeah. I'll do the quote unquote. I'll do a Bowles Christmas Eve, and you do a Bowles Christmas.
Okay, sounds
It's
good.
fitting because my birthday's Christmas Eve.
This is true.
It's like a birthday present to myself, telling one of my most embarrassing stories for the literal first time. Merry Christmas and happy birthday to me and Jesus. Anyway. What am I fucking watching? I already forgot the name of it. Get Santa. Great.
Get Santa.
Is this because you've been trying to get me to watch that movie Get Shorty for like 15 years?
No, but that's a good movie. It's like if Pulp Fiction wasn't nearly as good.
Hooray.
Yeah, well, Pulp Fiction's like a 10, so if Pulp Fiction was like a 7. You know.
Pulp Fiction's a great movie.
Yeah. But this was The Bowels of Netflix. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to stay tuned next week for morbidly embarrassing stories involving Larry's penis and grandmother.
Great. Can you not? Can you not put it that way, please? God damn it. You're riddled with herpes, you motherfucker.
I don't have a note.
Check us out on Twitter,
Facebook.
Yeah, at Bowels of Netflix. Email us bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com.
Rate,
yeah.
subscribe.
We got a couple views on Facebook. You can get notifications that people have viewed us, but because Facebook is awful, I can't tell if that's just the same notification over and over. I really can't.
Well, Facebook's a trash heap that no one should ever go on. But make sure to like us.
Yeah, like us on Facebook. For real.
And also thank you to Mr. Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com, where we get all our lovely music. You can get the full description of the songs in the description of this episode, and make sure to check out his website if you have any creative projects you're working on. All the stuff is Creative Commons licensed for free use as long as you give him credit. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, and make sure to stick around for next week for the holly jolly jack-off Christmas show.
I hate you. In Mother Russia, later smells you? ?